Hi everybody! In this video I'm going to show you how I did a refill on these acrylic nails. I used a clear acrylic underneath, a gel polish and a stamping design on top. So it's going to be very easy to do a refill. I'm first going to file off the gel polish and the design. And that's really something I'm curious about. Sometimes I see videos when people use acrylic colors, but how do they do refills? They have to file everything off, right? Or am I missing something? Maybe they are using a clear layer underneath. I'm using my electric file, a ceramic bit from AliExpress. I ordered some other bits on the sale, but I think they're definitely a different quality, so I will do a separate video about that. After filing everything off, I'm removing the dust using an alcohol cleaner, and I'm really making sure all the dust is away because that will cause lifting if it's still on the nail plate. So I'm really scrubbing it to get everything away. I already used the cuticle away before filing, so I told you about that in a separate video, an earlier video. For this design I'm going to use the number 12 Cats acrylic brush and the Mia Secret nail primer. I really love this primer. I really feel that it prevents lifting with acrylic nails perfectly. So really in love with this one. So I apply it sparingly on the natural nail, and as you can see there's almost no lifting after 3 weeks, so I don't need to apply a lot on the nail plate itself because there's not much natural nail there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to refill the cuticle area, and I'm still figuring out the mix ratio with this bigger cat's brush. It's so funny because I'm used to a number 8 brush, but while using this I think a number 12 brush isn't that big. I'm so scared to use too much monomer, but it's almost identical to the number 8 brush. Maybe it's because it's a crimped brush, so it's a bit more flat, that it doesn't hold a lot more liquid, which I personally love. It gives me a good control over the beads, but I can use a bit bigger beads without drowning the entire nail in a very liquidy acrylic bead. So I really prefer that. And I am just applying a very small amount near the cuticle area. I push it down towards the cuticle area, and then I'm smoothing it out over the entire nail to make sure it's nice and blended. Feel the brush is of high quality. It's funny because I thought a number 12 was going to be so big, but now I'm even thinking about buying a number 16 or maybe a number 18. The only thing I heard about that is that it will use a lot of monomer, so that it can be quite expensive. So I don't know, maybe for the one ball method it would be an option. So I will think about that. I will let you know, and of course do a review if I order. And what I prefer to do is apply near the cuticle area, and then I'm just using a bit of pressure near the side walls to make sure that the bead is flowing into the right direction. That really worked for me in the best way, and I think if you are using the one ball method for an entire sculpted nail, that's also how you're supposed to do it. Just let gravity do its work. After I'm done setting the acrylic on the nails, I am using my buffer block to file and smoothen out the surface. On some nails I will use a 180 grit file to really flush the cuticle area, to make it really nice and thin. And that's really something I like about using a clear acrylic underneath. You can make it really thin and build the right arch, and you don't have to worry about colors getting faded or anything like that. And what also my experience is, sometimes people say gels are as hard as acrylic, but no, I really noticed that my acrylics are harder, and I can make them a bit thinner and give them the same strength with gel. Now I'm applying a base coat. That's not really necessary when you're using acrylics and want to do a gel polish on top, but because I used a very smooth buffer file, I'm doing this just to be sure. I am using the H&M Starry Night gel polish in the rosé gold color. Oh, and it's so gorgeous. I did a video about this, about a lot of nail art from AliExpress, and I think these colors are so good. This is a gel polish I haven't seen before, so I will put a link down below to the products and also a card to that video, because I've ordered another color and some other items from AliExpress I can highly recommend. So you will need 2 coats of color, because one layer isn't opaque enough, and I'm using an H&M gel polish in a nude color, number 3, to use it as a base color for the further design. Now I apply a second coat to make it more opaque. Now I'm using some glitters from our local store, and I'm using Gelish Structure Soak Off Gel to dip it into the glitters and apply it straight onto the nail. After this is cured, I'm also going to apply a matte top coat to give it a special effect. On the ring finger, I'm going to apply a special UV gel for rhinestones. I ordered it on AliExpress, and I was really curious because they say this is a really thick and strong nail gel. you can use to apply rhinestones and glitters on there. So when I opened it up, it smelled a bit like resin, but it is something you need to cure in a UV lamp. And I wanted to know what it says, and here's the translation from the labels on the jar itself. So if that's not correct, please let me know. It's a bit thinner than I'd expected. It's not running anywhere, but you can really apply it more like a polish, because this nail I'm going to cover up in caviar beads, and I think this is the easiest way to do so. And something went wrong with this nail. I did it off camera. I tried to sprinkle beads all over it, and well, it was a disaster. It didn't work. So on this hand it did work. So I'm applying it more like a dipping powder. Here you can almost see how it turns up to be a French, and now I'm really dipping the entire nail into the jar, and I'm a bit afraid to spill everything, but this is the final result. So I will keep you updated to let you know whether or not it really sticks there. And I'm applying a really thin layer of the gelish structure gel, just to make sure there's a bit of gel in between the beads. And I'm using my finger right now to get rid of the gel on top of it. And now I'm using the same gel for rhinestones, and I applied it in this string on the nail bed, and I'm going to apply some of the Bornpretty store rhinestones I ordered. I think they look really nice, and I'm so sorry because I was completely off camera, so I just cut this image out of the video, so it's not really good quality, but I think you can see what I'm doing here, right? Now I am using the Love Carry tempered top coat to give it a nice high gloss shine, and then I'm also going to use my file to make sure that the caviar beads are a bit smoother and more nice on the edges, because else it will feel very rough. So there we go, the final result. What do you think? I really like the different effects on the nails. I think that looks really gorgeous. I'm really curious about the special rhinestone gel, so I will keep you updated. One thing I do want to mention, when you apply a bit of soak-off gel or clear gel on the caviar beads, it can affect the way they shine and how they look. So I did feel that it toned down the pearly effect of these caviar beads. So that's something to keep in mind. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!